Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for September 30th through October 6th, 2019. So let's take a moment to take a deep breath and to really breathe into your heart center. And just allow yourself to feel or sense or see this radiant spark of divinity emanating from within. And as your attention draws on this spark of divinity, see it expanding immediately to encompass all of you and the space in which you are sitting. Just see it growing and enlarging and filling every aspect of your physical body, down to the cells in your DNA, deep into the intelligence of your soul and your heart and your mind, allowing and unleashing an enormous burst of enlightenment, clarity, and renewal of unconditional love. Also, trust that your life is protected in every way, that every desire is being nurtured and is infinitely summoning and allowing in an effortless way every opportunity and possibility that is available to you in the moment that you are perceiving through your awareness, to be present with what is, embracing, accepting, and allowing those challenges and the contrast to evoke new potential, new clarity and improvements and greatness and success. And as I was beginning, the words that I was beginning with, I saw sort of some articles of the Fool, mainly his wand with the little satchel or bag tied to at the end of it. And I get the feeling when I saw the number 6, and in that moment, it really felt like this is something that's going to happen at the end of our week. So the Fool represents that innocence, that new beginning. And so I know that I think now that I'm making this video, we are close to the new moon, which will be Saturday or Sunday. And so probably it seems like that whatever intentions that you are setting for yourself, or anything that you are focused on as a goal, or anything that you love or that you're passionate about, and this inspires you to sort of take a plunge in a new direction, that somehow this week is preparing you. This new moon energy is going to be preparing you to do that. So by the end of the week, you will have set off in some way on a new journey or in a new direction. And the interesting thing about it is that it's almost like you take very little with you, or that you realize it takes very little. Thinking about that that little bag that he has, is not taking a lot with him on this journey. And so there's something that you realize that it doesn't take much, that you somehow simplify, you reduce, you just sort of simplify things to the most common denominator. And this sort of lightens your load. And they're just showing me a pentagram, which just sort of activates activates your senses, activates the magic within you. So it's possibly that the magic sort of happens as a transformation in your mind. In this simplicity, you feel powerful. You realize, like that wand sort of represents his tool of magic, that he had it, it's all inside of him, right? Because that wand becomes the magician's wand. And it's like all the power is inside of him. Why do you need to have so many things in order to get things done? You may be always thinking that I need this resource. You need things, a lot of different things, a support of people, maybe money, materials, and this, and you think to yourself, this is all focused on the outside of you to make your idea a reality. And somehow you're able to simplify your plan in order to get that goal off the ground, and to not be burdened by the possessions. It's something that we allow the physical needs to completely entrap us in circumstances that are no longer serving us. When every impulse from our soul, our spirit is urging us to move, to open, to expand, to reach for those possibilities, to shape them with our imagination. But we can't get past our physical needs. And how can we do without them? How can we live without them? And this is the faith that they're writing the word faith. And they're just showing a mountain. This is what our faith runs up against so often, and that keeps us from being able to feel hope and to feel loved by the universe, to feel the flow of the universe, to be in that alignment of joy, trusting the joy and being in that alignment, and not letting the physical needs become a deterrent. So it's almost like you're going to have to find a way around that physical need, because this came from within you like an idea, a spark of energy. And that spark of energy is what's drawing towards you everything that you need. You just have to keep fueling the energy with your ideas, with your actions, your motivation, your conviction. This will stir up the activity of life and gravitate it towards you. So important for you to realize that this is all energy. And when you fuel that energy in a motivational, inspiring way, you cause that energy to gravitate towards you. You shake it up and you stir it up and you get it moving through you. Those forms of support that you need, they will come to you, or it seems as though you're going towards it. But either way, it's still that gravity of the laws of attraction that is bringing you and it together. And so it is not without action on your part, but it's the kind of action. And a lot of times the action you go about offering is with a lot of worry and burdens that you carry in your mind, and this weighs down your enthusiasm, and it weighs down the intelligence of your mind to be a reception to the solutions and the ideas that the universe would give you, those creative ideas that it would give you to make it light, to make the path foreseeable. So you can't put all that clutter, that mental clutter, on yourself, because then that just will clutter the path in front of you. And also, don't get so stirred about the path as though it's already, the road is cleared completely all the way and completely developed. But the path in front of you is there based on what you've conjured within yourself, within your soul. But the path is constantly unfolding and acquiescing to your intentions, your mental clarity in space. So you want to just stay light and clear. Take little with you. Think simply. And let then the universe grandize this opportunity for you. Because it can do that. It can do that by, when you think simply, it can then, you can walk forward, and as you walk forward, you can then be receptive to that greater possibility, that greater opportunity. So let's just take a deep breath and just breathe that in. Because now we're getting to something manifesting, being ready. They're showing me an erect phallic symbol, which is like, okay, now that that everything is sort of lined up, the next challenge is being ready for what comes as a consequence of setting everything into motion. And sometimes we're not ready for that. We want to want, and we are so used to wanting and not having that we're not used to wanting and then getting, and so therefore we get stuck in just wanting and wanting, and then being disappointed, and somehow in a very weird way we become satisfied with this cycle because, this is how my life is. I can't expect much from me, I mean, that's not everybody's voice, but happens on some levels for people. We just need to understand why we get so comfortable in being stuck. And why sometimes you feel like things just don't flow for you. It's not the complete answer, but it's a possibility. It's one of the reasons behind it. And this is all because of the illusions, that the veil that the ego places around us. It's always scared of the light. You think about the high priestess in that veil. And when I did a meditation recently, behind that veil, they're writing the word power, is an enormous, powerful, brilliant light. So unimaginable. And imagine if somebody was shining a bright light in your eyes, in your face. Would you just be able to keep your eyes open? Absolutely not. You would squint. And that's what your ego, the veil of the ego, does. That's what the veil of illusion is. It's the squinting, not being able to take in the truth of who you really are and the powers that that are supporting us in the universe and that orchestrate the universe, which you are also. Not just a part of it, but you are also the universe. So when it's time for us to realize, to embrace the power behind the veil of what all of our desires, we squint, we can't handle that light sometimes. And so now it's about how to embrace that light, how to keep your eyes open to this light. And let it be, let it permeate you. This is what I believe, trust is really about. It's about allowing that divine love. Trust is opening the gates of our hearts to divine love, to that brilliant, intelligent light. So let's take a look at the Archangel Oracle card for this week. I think we had this card recently as well. Gifts from God, gifts from God, Archangel Sandalphon. I'm looking with my glasses on, but I was looking under the glasses. I wonder why I couldn't see. And so it says, we angels bring you gifts from your Creator. Open your arms to receive. And we were just talking about this receiving component. So this really confirms for us. And we were talking about getting prepared at the beginning. So this also makes sense for that we'll be ready to embark on the fool's journey by the end of this week, by the 6th, October 6th, around that time. It'll happen differently for everybody, but that's the approximate time that they're giving me. And so be aware in this week that you're going to be preparing or being prepared to receive your own gifts. You have so many gifts inside your soul that get suppressed because of fear. And you try to, and many of you put every effort, but we use manipulation. And I don't mean it in the negative way that it sounds. Like you don't try to do something to con someone. But what I mean by this is that when we open, in order to, first of all, that doors of trust I was talking about, when you open that door of trust, you open your heart to love. Love is the miracle. Love is a miracle. And so therefore, if we're allowing love, we're allowing miracles. When we're not trusting, when that door is not open, when we don't trust, we're not allowing miracles. And so therefore, this is the natural state of our relationship with God, is this, to trust and allow love, the miracle. And love, basically, the results of love, of that divine love, are what miracles are. And so what does this tell us? That since we think miracles are sort of unique phenomena, when it is actually the natural order phenomena of the universe. It's a natural phenomena of God's presence and love and support in your life. And it's not sometimey. It's all the time. So not that we should go be hard on ourselves and start figuring out how to stop doing that. But you do have to be aware that this means that we do it's like we hold our breath a lot, or we don't we don't trust a lot, and that keeps us from. That's another way of saying that we have resistance, and that keeps us from processing as our daily, hourly, minute by minute food for our souls and for the expansion and extension of our lives, because this processes through our soul and becomes an extension in our outer reality. And so we have to become aware of where we're resisting and just lay down your arms, so to speak. I just don't have enough time in these videos, but in this last few weeks, as I've been doing my own meditations, and things come up in my life, that are very challenging, and that sometimes I will get all of a sudden enormous anxiety around it, because I tend to have a low-key kind of interaction with life. I don't create drama, and but I can attract it. Just be honest about that. As much as I try to not create drama personally within myself, I can somehow attract it. And there are some reasons that I've identified in my life how that occurred. But the thing I recognize is that in this present moment, it was about trust. It was about noticing earlier on that I was aware, let's say, of someone else's actions were not going to be as honest as they said, in whatever way that means. And instead of severing ties or whatever needs to be done as the solution, I didn't say anything and just allowed it to continue. And then when it escalates, because the person's not going to change their pattern, then I'm forced to be in this position, because I hate confrontation as an empath, because I feel all of that. And so then it's now this huge challenge for me to deal with that. And I realize that feeling, and I always feel like I did something wrong, like I am is as if I'm a thief or something, or if I've done something criminally wrong in a matter that has nothing to do with that. Like, it's just as simple as, you have a personal boundary and somebody crosses it, and they just keep crossing it, but you then feel, because you set that boundary, there's something wrong. And you just feel like sort of it's just magnified so many times over, and out of proportion. And I realized it was because that trust piece, that the universe was giving me the information I needed. But it's then when we get information, like when we get ideas, or in different ways, like if you're doing a creative project, when we get those things, that's when we have to focus on our doors, the doors of our heart, and to open them. Like, we have to, let's call them the doors of trust. We have to open those doors of trust and let the miracle of love in. And when you do it, when you get it, then things can work out better. You can, what you're then teaching yourself is that you don't have to be in a pinch. You don't have to feel trapped. You don't have to feel like you did something wrong. It doesn't have to be a huge drama. It doesn't have to be chaotic. When you take that information when it's given and trust your instincts and the guidance that you're getting of how to handle it in that moment, that's the gift coming to you. That's a gift from God in that moment when it's not a big deal. And so if we were handling things when it's not a big deal, but it's something to deal with, then we would have this sort of feel like we were living this harmonious or balanced life. Even though there are challenges, they wouldn't seem out of proportion to the peace and harmony you had a moment before you found out. Do you know? So think about it, this could apply to relationships, money, all kinds of situations. We just have our doors of trust closed, which is resistance. And what you're trusting is not the person or the situation. You're trusting God. You're trusting in the universe, God. You're trusting the information that's been given to you. And when you're a very intuitive person, empath, don't let your ego tell you that you're making assumptions or that you're being too suspicious, because you practice being too aware for that. It doesn't mean that you're going to be always 100% spot on accurate about what it is, but about the other person's intention or the situation. But there is some reason that you need to pay attention and take action on what is being given to you. That's what's clear. Like you won't be like in a completely different ballpark. You'll be like in the vicinity of what's happening. And however you approach it or address it, you will be in the right area to the right alignment. You're going to be in some space of alignment to address it in this calm, non-threatening way. And then this becomes a practice. So they're teaching you how to build in a practice so that you will then not be alarmed by change. Because all of this, no matter what our drama is, it's all about the process. And change is the process. When you desire, you want, you pray, change is the process for that. And our alarm to things happening in our life, the contrast, the challenges, the tests, whatever you want to call them, is just resistance to the change that you initiated in your desire or want in your prayer. Okay? So let's take a look at the cards for the week, so we don't run out of time. And then at the beginning of the week, the moon. All right, so we already talked about that we're having a new moon phase here. And this card, really is about bringing up things, okay? And not letting some of the illusions sort of distort your clarity. I just saw a tarot card where the moon, I don't know which deck it was, but the artist, one eye was open and the other eye was closed. But it gave you this feeling like the eye that was closed, it was like almost saying, better keep one eye open at least, because when at night, you never know what could be going on. So in our subconscious, we need to keep one eye open because in our ego, because things can be spun out of proportion, out of control, and we're in this drama that's all this illusion of the ego, and nobody is seeing anything as clearly as they should. And it's easy to just get caught up in the drama of emotions. Don't let yourself get swept away by these emotions. So since it's sort of coming in the new moon, it's a good time to set an intention And really, you should be doing this all the time with situations that are troubling to you. Set your intention for the behavior, the outcome, or the boundaries that you want to work within for yourself. Like, just don't leave everything up to chance. Don't rush in and just let it all be hanging out there for anybody to pull and yank. But decide what your end goal will be, depending on how a couple of scenarios might play out, so that you don't get drawn into the drama and get caught up in the emotional illusions and get triggered by your own stuff, in your subconscious. So keep one eye on that subconscious, to make sure it's not. So one eye closed, go within and listen, and then keep one eye open to make sure that you're not that you're not playing with the drama of someone else, that you're not letting someone else's drama, sort of like you got your eyes closed and one eye closed, and you're feeling your inner being, and you're being aware, and you're listening and interacting, but you better keep that other eye open just to make sure that you're not playing into somebody else's drama. Because as empaths, we feel everything. And it's like I was saying before, it's like when I said I feel responsible, like somehow people make you, when you're an empath, they make you feel like you're the one that's the creating the issue, when it's and that's because you're feeling yourself and them, and you get confused and you just don't know which way to go. But you really got to be clear about what you what you're doing, what you're creating, and what you really want to create, despite what's going on. Hope this makes a little bit of sense to you. All right, let's take a look at the card for the middle of the week. And get this feeling with this card and that discussion, like, this is going to be one of those things where you have to stand your ground. It feels like that this is going to be, this is a 9 of Wands, 9 of Fire here, that this is going to be something that you're going to have to persevere through. That it's going to take a lot of work, effort, spiritual work. So the thing is that it's just awareness is the work here. Awareness. And if you're aware of what you want to achieve, then that's going to make that very easy. And the other half, I feel like that eye open thing again, is just being aware if you set with the goals that you want to achieve and in your boundaries, and then when you keep that other eye open, when you see somebody cross that boundary, now you've already made a decision about, okay, when that boundary is crossed, then this is the action or the decision I'm going to make. So meaning I'm going to withdraw from this, or I'm going to say that we need to sever ties, or if the opposite thing happens, then we can proceed in this way. But just be very clear, like that one eye closed, one eye open. Like in your heart, what is it that you need from that higher perspective, the greater good for all? And what I was talking about earlier about that manipulation thing is that I had to sit down and sort of meditate. And when I meditated, not try to think of a tool to make things go away, but I meditated and just sat quietly, and what happened is that the universe started to show me or offer me the tool that would help in this situation. And it always started with me connecting to the higher self of that person, where there is a perfect relationship, a relationship, an intention of both to love and to be witnesses and to make the sacrifice, to be present in this situation, to bring forth the lessons that each higher self knows that it's bringing through for the soul personalities in the three-dimensional plane. And so tapping into that, and then whatever they gave me, which was usually just about love, which really came down to opening up my heart and letting love in. And then that's when I could be a part of the process of what is the greater good of choices to make in this situation. And even sometimes healing, sending healing or doing healing, but it was done not because I was looking for it. It was just given to me as a gift, because when you do it that way, then you're using the tools that your higher selves are offering to help bring the balance. When they think of balance, it's very different from what we think of balance, because from what we want is balance, and the ego is, I want things to go my way. I want. But from their perspective, it's about what will serve everyone involved. What will serve them? What will help them to grow? What will help them to ascend? And what will allow them to surrender and fall into the flow of miracles? What will allow them to return to their true strength and power? Okay? So let's take a look at the card for the end of the week. Okay, so we have the 10 of fire, and we're talking about, these burdens. So, and it's interesting because we got 9 and 10. So what this feels like is that you are, at the end of the week, that you're going to really figure out the things that throw things out of balance for you, that weigh you down, that keep you from feeling light, things that keep you from having more energy. Because this card almost feels like, you weighed down with all this stuff, you have no energy left, you have no time or resources, your health is broken, so you almost can't go anymore. And it's like that hard lesson, like in the 10 of Swords. But you're going to learn that lesson, and as a result, because the 10s are about renewal as well, so it's about endings but renewal, and as a result, you're going to come out of this stronger. You're going to be aware of what you've been doing, what's been weighing on you, what's been burdening your load and clouding your path. And then you're going to take action by no longer allowing yourself to get caught up in that. As you set those boundaries and set clear intentions of what you want to occur. And by going to your higher self and not trying to fight this battle within the ego, but to listen and to learn and to love, allow yourself to be loved by your higher selves. All right. So again, this is going a week where you're going to be receiving assistance from the universe. You're going to be receiving gifts, and you're going to go through this sort of internal battle, and but it's going to help you to lighten your load. It's going to help you to separate truth from illusion, and allow you to choose your truth, which is light. It's not only light itself as an energy, but it is light as in feeling as well. And so somehow you're going to learn to not complicate things as much. Okay, so we have another card here. And it's interesting. Learn not to complicate, as I was saying, then I pulled it over, turned it over. And it's the Nine of Air. And learning not to complicate things is a part of learning not to worry and learning how to trust, learning how to open those doors. And so instead of trying to come up with a way to fix things, or talking about that word manipulation now, I hope you understand in a different context, is that what you're going to focus on, because anything that is not working on trusting as a solution in the moment to any problem, anything that is not sitting down and or standing still and figuring out how to open that door of trust, is manipulation. And so instead of feeding anxiety and fear and stress, give it an alternative. Trust. Open the door to your higher self. Open your door to these gifts from God. And then see what solutions or creative ideas, see what healing they give you to do, to bring your situation into harmony. But remember, the situation outside of you is not going to come into harmony first. The situation inside of you, what you are struggling against, which is you're afraid of that light behind that veil. You don't know how to let your eyes stay wide open and soak it all in and trust that it's not going to burn or to injure your eyesight, but it's going to illuminate. So on that very basic level, pay attention to when you start to feel like you're worrying, and know that this is the time to then sit down, be still, and open the doors of trust. And just let your heart fill up. You can sort of, the meditation we were doing at the beginning, just focus in the heart center and feel that light. Let it fill you up. And don't try to do anything beyond this. Just let the rest of it happen to you. And then see what gifts come in. Because once you get that started, like we did, and then just let the meditation, let the process of this healing meditation then take over, and let whatever intention, you just set an intention to trust and to allow the miracle of love. All right, so I send you lots of love and angel blessings. And I ask you to remember, when you call on your angels, and to whomever you call upon, God, know that what the gift they will give you is that they will amplify the light within you, so that you can be a part of the flow of abundance that's already there. When you pray to God, don't seek an answer as if it's not known to you, or that you got to wait for God to think it up, which I'm sure that's not how most of us think. But either any of these, you have to understand that it's about aligning, keeping those doors of trust open, so that you are in the flow where all of the solutions they already are around you. They orbit around you, way ahead of what your expectation of them, because the universe orchestrates towards your inner vibration, your point of vibration, so it already knows the answers that you're going to need before you recognize them, and they're there. And the only thing you have to do is trust, get back in that flow, and allow them through, and to follow them, so that you can trust. You can have more faith in that trust, that bond, that connection. Keep talking, don't I? So again, I want to just remind you, before I talk about that, in August, I don't know when, but please try to leave some comments about like things you would like to talk about in the live chats. And I'll try to remember to do it at the beginning of a video so that maybe more people actually are aware of it, and so that we have some things to just start with in the first live chat. It'll happen somewhere in October. I don't know why I said August. Sometime in October of this month, rather the middle on, hopefully, and just get some ideas about what you want to talk about, and I look forward to doing this with you, and getting to meet people and get reacquainted with all the subscribers. So if you, in the meantime, if you're looking for an angel reading, you can contact me at theangelschool.com, which you can find below this in the description link. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook for the daily card messages, Monday through Friday. And yeah, I just saw something else, but I'm not going to talk about it. So we'll trust that that message will get to your hearts. All right, love you all, and God bless you.